Good morning, folks. Thought I'd give us a quick tour, walk around the shop, take a look at what's new, what we've been up to. Small things matter. We used to use that bubble wrap when it was just laying on the ground, and it was such a pain in the butt. I saw a picture of something like this, and I had Jared fab one up, design it, TIG it, machine it real quick, bend some piping. It has been awesome. We've got the same two rolls on there now, but we'll probably switch one out to be the little bubble wrap, the other to be the big one. And packaging really helps. We've really made a lot of little improvements. I made a joke, not a joke, a true statement on the Business of Machining podcast where we were using this thing incorrectly for like a year, which is super embarrassing. I just never paid attention to it. This piece had been flipped up inside of there. And so when you've got to get the tape wet, and so these brushes move water up from this pool, and so we were literally like putting hand pressure on it, which, I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying this out loud, and I just never really paid attention to this thing. It's supposed to go right there. We also bought this like $4 Starrett adhesive tape measure and put that down, and it's just always handy because whether you're just checking something or a box or a dimension or something, it's just nice to have a tape measure here, and I'll actually probably buy some more of these to put elsewhere around the shop. Not a lot has changed in our inventory racks since last shop update we did. We are trying to always streamline, always improve little things. I think I posted a picture of this where like this is kind of a really quick, hacky, not the best, but it works, assembly or shipping thing for a mod vice kit. So everyone gets the same one of these, and then whether it's a 440 or 1100 or 770, it shows the screws, the fasteners, the pieces. We actually had to steal one out of it because we have been wonderfully struggling to keep up with some of the demand. But we've got more in stock, and so we bring them off the machine, clean them off, we set them here. This is actually, honestly, needs a lot of improvement because the idea is that the green racks should only have stuff that's ready to ship, so you can see the parallels and the solid bars and all the other stuff. So a lot room for improvement, but you got to start somewhere. We just did another run of our mini pallets, so we clean them right when they come off the machine. We've had some problems with coolant staining. I shouldn't say that coolant staining. It was really the bubble wrap, but nevertheless, we want to keep them clean right after they're machined, or get them clean and then keep them clean. So we bring them here, then they get hand cleaned, and then we've now been wrapping them in the paper wrap versus the bubble wrap. That bubble wrap staining was just super frustrating. I was really bummed. We built a pretty good new relationship with Tico, and I didn't really realize or appreciate that we could get these at such competitive pricing. So these are all USA made, actually they're here in Ohio, studs of all these various different sizes and lengths. So we've been switching out our pin and stud kits that we used to use with fasteners for studs, and that's really a key part to how we use our tooling plates. Is you do want to maximize the thread engagement, and so a stud lets you thread it all the way down to a certain distance, but not all the way down if you don't want to, and then you can just use a nut and a washer. It's been a good improvement. We've been kind of tweaking how we store our fixture plates so that we can get a good quick visual inventory of what we've got on each size, and they're kind of ready to ship. Same thing with the DeWalt's. Have not been using the Okamoto really at all lately. We used it a little bit last year, not much. And the same thing with some of this other manual equipment. So it's something on my radar I'm thinking about as we focus on what we do, and it's just something I've been thinking about. So I am super excited to do a really good maintenance video, and we're going to use this 1100. We're going to take some of the machine, I won't say apart, but I thought I was going to film this. I started filming it, and then I realized I wanted to take it to really another level, which means it's going to take a little bit more work and prep on our end because I want to make sure it's a good video. So I'm going to start that today, but I've got some pretty cool ideas courtesy of a viewer and with his help on a better way to adjust gibs that is not a method I've seen anywhere else, and I'm very, very excited. So more to come on that. I'll spoil it though. The idea is we're going to remove the stepper motor, which shouldn't actually be that much work, And then we're going to use a way to measure the feel of the gib, and that's really, that's what gets me excited, is that's going to be such a good way to scientifically and consistently and accurately measure the gib versus this idea of, you know, just succumbing to what the stepper motor or path pilot sees in lost motion and over tightening. We just finished filming a video on 4 different tools, 1, 2, 3, 4, for backside chamfering, so super excited about that. It's actually pretty easy. A couple little tips or tricks or hacks in cam, but otherwise a really good sort of tool to have in the wheelhouse. Nothing crazy new on the HAASes, except we did get in this big Kaiser digital boring head, and this has been a game changer. It's one of those things where we never had a problem when we were manufacturing our fixture plates, but there was a stress point for me behind maintaining just absolutely awesome fits and finishes and consistencies of the bores, and, you know, whether we were interpolating them or boring them or pre-boring them and all that. And the answer for us has been this digital boring head. So it's interesting. It's not a smart head. Like, it doesn't yet talk to the controller and automatically adjust, although that technology is coming. But what this does is it has a really accurate scale inside of it. And so when you adjust it, you basically don't have to deal with a vernier. More importantly, you can adjust it both ways, and it's blind to any backlash in the adjustment mechanism because of that scale. That may not sound like a big deal, but it has been, when we're trying to hold a tenth or two on our bores, it's been phenomenal. And, you know, you can basically adjust this thing down by the 50 millionth, so that's half a tenth resolution. It's been not an inexpensive tool, but we've been making these fixture plates for about a year, and we've had this for 2 months, and it has been a breath of fresh air from a pure process reliability and ensuring quality standpoint. We made a couple more improvements to our filtering system. No actual changes to this, but I'll put a link in the video description. We picked up a new skimmer, and this thing has been great. I heard really good things about these from 3 different people that I all respect, and that was like, okay, that's enough. It was $500, which is actually not that bad for a skimmer, and you can't really see it. Yeah, you can see it. It's been picking up oil, which is great. And then $10 for a whole roll of that green aquarium media stuff. Again, link in the video description. That will make it easy to pre-catch your chips, so that's really easy to pull out and dump into your chip bin, again, as kind of a pre-filter that's just super easy to work with. Judd says hi. There's fixture plates that are about to be run. Those are 1100s, and then we just pulled some 770s off, so those are done. They've had an initial QC, but they've got to go through a final QC. We keep all of our QC sheets inside of a folder box by material and by model. That way they're easier to find. I'd love to get them digital, but haven't found a good way to digitize them, or, you know, do them digitally just yet. Oh, I gotta go over to the air compressor. So this will be next week's Wednesday widget, or this week's, I guess you could say, in 5 days. But Arduino, Internet of Things, intelligent air compressor may sound silly, but we didn't have, I didn't feel like our auto drain was working reliably, so you'll see it all in the Wednesday widget. But I don't want to say it was super easy, because it took some tweaking, but hopefully now that we've done some of the initial legwork, it would be really easy to replicate this for this exact project or for something similar. Long story short, every hour this thing triggers the drain. It's not an Arduino, it's called a particle photon, which is kind of like an Arduino, but with really easy internet, Wi-Fi, and IoT connectivity, including with, we're doing this with if this then that. So again, long story short, every hour it drains the compressor. If this Adafruit flow meter right here doesn't detect an actual airflow from the auto drain, then I get a text message. That's freaking cool. We did buy something. We bought a laser. We have been using the laser at the Idea Lab here in Zanesville. They have a 80-watt laser, and Ed has been going over there a ton. We've been using it for our fixture plate covers. We've been using it for some custom acrylic cutouts, and we already have our anodized products, some different things, laser engraved. So all of a sudden hit that point where, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. There's also a ton of really cool lean improvements like custom acrylic boxes, layouts, templates, jigs, fixtures, packaging stuff. So we bought a 100-watt Boss laser. We tried to look at all the various options. The Boss laser was, it's about the same price as all the 100-watt lasers. It is an import laser. They're roughly 10 to, actually Boss pricing is nice. It's all public and open on their website. It's like 12 or 13,000 total. The Epilogue or Trotex, which are the for sure better versions, and I believe the difference is they are water-cooled tubes and not air-cooled, so you will absolutely get more tube life out of them, but they're 4 times the price, like literally 40 or 50 grand, which was not an option. So hopefully that's going to ship next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, which will be huge to have. We're putting together some fixture plate covers right now. There's a Wednesday Widget upcoming over there, which that long slider has to do with that. You guys can probably figure it out, but I'm actually really excited to have an automatic opening door there. And I wanted to show you guys one more thing. Let's see here. I've got a list of videos that I have told myself or told other people I really want to get done, and I feel like I haven't done them yet. So that's kind of been on my list now that we've got through the holidays and the new year. One is like all things Heimer. There's an example of some laser cut parts that we're using for fixturing, so I'm really excited for that. We're going to be showing a video on, oh, that's right. We have a video coming on thread milling, and again, it's a good example of where I thought, oh, we'll just do a quick video on thread milling, and we really went, we went deep on it, and I think that's awesome because rather than just put out quick videos that kind of brush into a topic, I really want to own it and put out great content. So Alex, the intern here, and I worked for weeks on pulling formulas out, examples out, doing tests, different style thread mills, and we've actually figured out some really cool things that I've never heard anybody explain before on thread mills that give us better thread mill results right off the bat. So after we do that, then we're going to show thread milling for how to make your own Pearson pallet type systems. These were some soft jaws that somebody printed for us on a Mark Forged printer. So we're going to test those to see how well. That's a $3,500 printer, so it's not like some insane, $100,000 printer. They're insanely light. This is actually not the carbon fiber material, but we may have them reprinted with that, which is what makes it so strong and potentially kind of cool and useful. What else? Oh, I forgot to show you guys what we're filming today out here on a 770. We want to make a mold out of P20 tool steel, and we're going to try to make a key fob mold. So this will be an upcoming Wednesday widget. We were just taking some test cuts though. This stuff is the real deal. I mean, that's a real tool steel. It's semi-hardened. I forget the Rockwell, but maybe 30. And so we've been testing out speeds and feeds and tooling, and you can see the kind of backward logo there. But this will have much more. There'll be much more shape to this. It'll look like your sort of standard car key fob. And then it'll be a 6-sided centrifugal mold, 2 halves to it. So that's what I'm working on today after that. And finally, a quick update on our accounting. We ended up with 0. We used Wave for like 2 days, and I realized it wasn't going to be comprehensive enough, mostly because we track our revenue by like job shop versus products that we sell versus training and so forth, and so I needed that granularity, and Wave is great and Wave is free, but it really just says, hey, here's your revenue or here are your kind of expenses, was not conducive to having more detail. So 0 is awesome. It's $30 a month, but to me that's totally fine, and it really plays well with our payroll service. It plays well with Shopify, with PayPal, with all these different vendors or third parties, which I really like, but it's been a huge amount of work to get accounts migrated over. It's just been some hassle. So once we get that nailed down, we're going to do a video on, I think we're going to do 2 separate accounting videos. One is going to be kind of a guide to accounting basics for machinists and entrepreneurs or manufacturing folks, and then the other is going to be more technical detail on how we handle our daily accounting stuff when it comes to the process and how we track things and how some of the kind of cool hacks that we have to make our accounting go easier and get us better books and that kind of stuff. So with that, folks, I'm going to get back to making some parts. But as always, thank you for the support on Patreon. Take care. See you soon.